Gatorfingerboards. Hey, I'm gonna finally do how to make a fingerboard video, and I can't seem to find time, so I'm just gonna go ahead and just do it. So let's see how it works. I'll do the first part of it right now, and I'll do another one, the second part, later. Anyhow, I'm gonna use the GM11s because just because I have them here, and I have 17s too. Anyhow, I want to show you something new. These are the GM17Bs. These are new. These are they have pins on the end. You see those little? It's got pins on the end, and these guys hook together like that. I don't know if you see all that. And then you see that big hole in there? That big hole? They got them on both sides, and that hole is to catch extra glue. So when you glue it together, you get better glue. And the nice thing about this mold is that it doesn't have the pins. If you had a single pin in there, like the ones I made first. I made the ones with pins first, and the pin is actually a weak spot. It will break. Urethane's tough, and it can handle 400 degrees, and it can take it can take some pressure, but it is breakable. So when you have a little pin sticking out like that, with all that stress coming on, because when you're pulling them off, you pull them off like this. You pull them this way, you pull them that way, you pull them this way. It depends if you're especially if you're sloppy with the glue. You never know how you're gonna pry it. If you have to pry it open, you gotta pry it open, and I can guarantee that any mold with a pin coming out is probably gonna break, unless it's a metal mold. If it's a metal mold, well, then the metal mold can take a lot of stress. But anyhow, so I made it. So my design is this, which is pretty awesome. And I've tried it already. I've stuck them together. I actually stuck glue in it, and it was pretty hard. I had to take a screwdriver to pry it through the things. And the nice thing about my mold is, see, you don't have to pull it straight off like this, right? You can pull it like this. So there's no there's not that much stress on this this little. I wouldn't say it's a pin. It's kind of like a pin. It's like a rod that comes out. But and then I got a groove that it goes into. See the groove? So they actually, it's pretty nice. It's a nice fit. So you shouldn't have a problem with it breaking, because I don't want to sell something that's going to break, because then that's not good for anybody. So I made it like this. So that's my new design. It's pretty awesome, and it goes together really nice. See that? And it locks, and it's locates everything. The only thing about these molds, when you get these kind of molds, is that they're kind of limited to your tail size. The tail size is not that bad. I made this board with it, this guy, and it's a nice board. And you got a nice tail on it. It's a pretty nice tail. It's a nice deck. But the board size itself, this one, what is the size of this? Hang on a second. Okay, it's pretty nice, and the size of this deck is let's see. I'm just going to go from tail to tail. From tail to tail, this guy is about, looks like 99 millimeters. So this guy is a 99 millimeter deck. Okay? So in my description on the website, you can make anywhere, you can make it shorter, of course. But I made a 95 millimeter and I made 103 millimeter decks out of this. I was comfortable with that number, so I believe that everybody can make a 95 to a 103 millimeter deck with these molds. Okay. Now with these molds, the wood can hang over the side, so you can actually have that much extra making your deck if you want big tails. This is the one I did, and look at the size tail on that. It's pretty big. And I am starting to make boards, so I'm going to start posting those pretty soon. I'm going to put them in the shop and everything, so keep your eyes open. So anyhow, let's this is the new GM11B. So, and B is the way to tell that they're the different ones. Okay. Now I played around with them, and I'm not sure which one I like best. I think I might like the first one's better, just because I can make a bigger board if I want to, and if I don't want to, I don't have to. But these are really nice, though. These are really nice because they locate everything for you. Okay? Okay. And for these, you know, to make them square, I use the fixture, and the fixture works. I'm going to show you how to use that. All right, let's go. Let's make a deck because it's going to take a little bit to making them. So you got to have all your stuff. I have my binder clips. So I have a lot of binder clips. And you get your two C-clamps. You get your molds. I'm going to do two. I'm going to do one with the new mold and one with the old mold. Okay, same type mold. They're both GM11s, but this is a B and this is just a regular. Okay, so here we go. So you take your plies and you set them down in the order you want to do them. Or this is how I do it. Okay, so I set them down in the order you want to do them, and I go long grain, cross grain, long grain, cross grain, and how you tell that is the long grain. You see that? Long grain goes this way. The grain of the wood. That's what I'm talking about, and that's the longest grain, right? And then when you get the short grain goes across, and that's the shortest. That's how you tell. Okay. All right, let's rock and roll. Oh, get yourself some napkins too, because glue is kind of messy. Okay. And then you know, I had some wording on this one right here, so I put it on the inside so you can't see that. So and then I take my finger and I rub it. And you can get and I rub it kind of fast, and you know, it takes overnight to dry. So make sure you wait that long, and if it's too cold, you got to wait a little longer because your boards will warp even though you think they're done. Okay, so make sure they're totally dry before you pull it from the mold. Because you know, I've had warp molds or decks, and I've had a lot of people tell me, you know, because they let them sit for like an hour, which that's crazy because this glue takes 24 hours to kick. Now, you can make them in epoxy. I've made them in epoxy, and you know, epoxy kicks in 5 minutes, so you let it sit for about an hour, and you're probably good to go. And epoxy's not bad. I don't mind it at all. I just like, you got to go really fast though, because I did it with the 5-minute epoxy, and you can do it because I've done it. So anyhow, and then this, you know, I spread it with my finger. You can go ahead and they have rollers out there that'll actually roll glue on, and it's faster. Or you can take a brush. You can do whatever. But you know, I do it with my fingers because you know, I only get one. The finger only, you know, it's only glue. It ain't gonna hurt you. It's not gonna hurt you. So just put it on there. And now, if you do epoxy, you might want to use a brush because epoxy is that's different. It's different, and it's a little more. It's sticky, and it tends to stay on yourself. Okay, let's see. Here we go. We're all done with this one. So you know, I kind of make sure that everything stays. Everything's about the same. Okay, everything is okay. And then you got to figure out which one you want, top or bottom. Do you want the bottom ply to be red, or you want the top ply to be red? I always go with the color on the bottom because you always put grip tape on the top. You know, that's just the way it is. Okay, so I put the this end down first, pretty much always, and I'll throw it against that pin right there. Okay, and then you'll take the you take your top cover, and you can't go. There's only one way you can go because I put the screw and the pin on each side, so that's kind of cool too. So I put it up there, and then I kind of line it up. Oh, make sure the wood stays straight, and then you get it down. Actually, I'm going to wipe my finger. So wipe that glue off your finger. Get your C-clamps. Get this guy. Okay, and then just you still have to line the wood a little bit if you want to, but the clamps come down, and that's it. Okay, and then you get your C-clamps. And I like when I lock it down, I like kind of going over that little groove. You know, this groove right here. I like going over, putting the C-clamps about over that. It's kind of, you know, it kind of makes sure that the tail gets clamped good, and it makes sure the body gets clamped good. Okay, so get these guys on there. And the only other thing to make sure is try to get it in the center of the board. It doesn't matter too much, but try to get it in the center of the mold, okay? And then clamp it down. Go up and clamp that baby down, okay? Now, since you got the ends, you get these little holes right on the end. Remember how I said they collect glue? So they'll collect glue, so you don't have to worry about it really sticking. But I had them stick. And I pried it apart like I said earlier, and they came apart without breaking the pin. So that's why I'm selling these now, because I know it's pretty tough to break the pins. So you still can break them, probably by if you drop them and run them over with a car or something. So anything's breakable, okay? Even a metal mold. You can break a metal mold easy too. So anyways, you put the binder clips on, which I still like doing. I love binder clips because what they do is they seal off they seal it off better, closer down, I think. And if you want to make a wider board, you can make a wider board. And it's up to you how wide your board you want to be. I don't like go too much bigger than 30 millimeters, but you can. I mean, this one. What is this one? This one is probably 30 millimeters. Yeah, this one's 30. So I go about 30. And you can go smaller too. It's all up to you. So anyhow, you get these binder clips on. This is how I do it. Put all these binder clips on, and I highly recommend binder clips because I totally like them. You do one without, and you'll see why. I mean, it's pretty obvious. Okay, so I get them all on there. Try to. And then, can't get this last one on there. Okay, there you go. So there. Now that one's done. That's what it looks like, okay? That's what it looks like when it's all done. Now you're going to have to let this sit overnight. So we're going to let this sit overnight. And then, like I said, I'll do another video. So now I'm on the roll, so I'm going to keep going. Okay, now I'm going to do the regular one, okay? So you get your wood out the way you want to lay it out. This time I'm going to use some yellow veneer and put it in the middle because, you know, I like putting color veneer in. Okay, now these take a little more glue, but it's still the same process. You put long grain to cross grain, long grain to cross grain, and just spread that stuff out. Okay. Now I try to spread it on as thin as I can. It's less messy, and since you're clamping it down, I haven't had a problem with it not gluing in spaces. So just put the glue on, and I'm trying to go fast here because it takes up a lot of time on the YouTube thing. But anyways, you get the idea. You go long grain, cross grain, long grain, cross grain. And oh, you know what? Another thing too, veneer. I try to hopefully keep the same size veneer, but sometimes you get thicker and thinner veneer. And if you get thicker veneer, you might want to go 4 plies instead of 5 plies. You know, because you don't want a real thick board. Unless you do. I mean, maybe you do. If you have a thick board, that means when you put when you drill your holes for your screws, you're going to have to do your chamfer a little deeper because the screws are so short they won't go all the way through the wood. Okay, so that's one thing to think about when you're making a thick board. I mean, you still got to make that chamfer for 5 plies because those screws are short. But anyhow, let's see. Have I said everything? I've been trying to say as much as I can. I don't know if I got it all. If I don't got it all, like I said, you know, I did a little book, and so you guys could have it on hand. And there's pictures in the book that show you, because I love pictures, because you know, if I don't really understand it when I'm reading it, I just look at the pictures, and the pictures pretty much tell you everything. Now this video should tell you pretty much everything too. Okay, so now I'm done, and now usually if you just have the mold, you put the mold in, and then what you have to do is you got to try to line those two up really good. All right, you line it as close as you can and clamp it down. All right, but I do sell my fixture, which I use and I'm going to use today. So I take the fixture and I take the wood, and it's like a little third hand, and I put it in there. And if you ever saw the video, this is the same type video. And then I take my molds, and I kind of make sure that you have a GM11 on this side and a GM11 on that side, and that's kind of how I molded them together. So that's how I would put them together. So since this is both sides are the same, it doesn't matter which is top and which one's bottom. So I'll just put it on there, and then you put the mold up, and you kind of line up these molds like this, and then you just squeeze and press down so they're on the table, all right. Then you just take your C-clamps and start clamping down. Now, like I said, you saw how fast I did with this guy, and you know, with this fixture, I would say it's just as fast as that guy. You know, everybody says locating things are awesome, but you know what? They are awesome. I mean, they are good. It's just this mold. The only reason why I like it better, like I said, is that I have more of a chance of making it bigger or wider, you know, and I kind of like that. Now I think in the future okay, so anyhow, so lines up perfect. So the mold, the GF20 fixture really works really well. Okay, so now I'm done. Now that was pretty fast. And then I take in the kit, you get enough binder clips to cover the mold. But this is how I do it. And it's pretty simple. I mean, this is probably the most simple part, you know, one of them anyways. And then you got to cut it out and shape it and make your own deck. And you know, that's the fun part about it, actually. And actually, this is pretty fun too. It's kind of exciting. You get to make your own deck. You know, this deck is made by you, which is cool. You know, and as long as you do a really good job, people will love your decks. Just make sure they are together nicely. And I make sure, you know, I hand do all mine, so hopefully they're all good. And then I know, you know, when you're making them, you know how they are. So anyways, that's how you do the regular mold. And see, I don't think it takes much. I think they're about the same. I don't know. I might have been faster doing this one. I don't know. But again, this one has the pins on the side that locate it automatically without the fixture. And this one, you should get the fixture if you're doing this one, because I say it helps. 100% helps. But if you have this one, you don't need that fixture. I mean, I guess I could use it still, even if I was doing this, but yeah, I haven't tried it. I'll try it next time. Anyhow, that's the first part of this. That's how you the first part of making a mold is like this. So hopefully, and get it done, and then I'll show you. And then hopefully, I'm going to try to show you a bunch of ways how I cut these things out. Okay? And I'm thinking about making another fishboard. So maybe I'll show you how to make a fishboard out of this guy. Okay? All right. Thanks for watching.